across to our guests and talk to them about all the latest developments in Karnataka. We have R.K. Upadhyay, senior journalist. Very good afternoon to you, sir. Visuals there of DKS, Deputy CM of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, the Karnataka CM. We thought these discussions were going to take a longer time. It looked for a moment that there could even be a new player such as Kharge who could come in and take over that mantle. But now Sidda, the CM, DKS, the Deputy CM. Did you expect it to play out this way?
So intense, debate, discussion, fight, or whatever you can call it. They have been finally decided. They have been able to decide on the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister. And today they have this oath ceremony where 8 ministers are being included. Of course, till late into the night, we were given to understand that there will be 25 ministers being sworn in. And suddenly, early in the morning, only Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar have come back from Delhi. And we find there are only 8 now. So, which means that there is so much of competition for, the ministership, and it's not going to be easy. These are early indications of how difficult it is and how challenging it is going to be for Siddaramaiah to run this government. As a small aside, Mr. Shivakumar took the oath. When he took the oath, he said, I have been sworn in as Deputy Chief Minister. In the Constitution, there is no such thing as Deputy Chief Minister. You just take oath as a Chief Minister or Minister, and then you are designated, just that. And then also you have to take oath in the name of God or a Constitution. But he took the oath in the name of his granddaughter, I suppose it's a grandfather. These are small things that the politicians forget, because these are not constitutional, issues which should not be forgotten. But anyway, that being aside, I feel that this good beginning they're making, in the sense that they've selected the most, experienced persons for the 8 slots that they have, and it's been very carefully done, giving representation to most, communities. Siddaramaiah himself comes from Kuruba community. Shivakumar represents the Okaligas, and then you have Parameshwara, who is a scheduled caste, right hand, and then you have Muniyapa, who's a scheduled caste, left hand, Ramalinga Reddy, who's a Reddy Okaliga, KJ George, who's a Christian, and then Zameer Ahmed Khan, who's a Muslim. So broadly, they have given representation to all these communities. But then there are issues as far as regional representation is concerned, because there's no representation from the central Karnataka, which is one of the major areas from which Congress made very big gains. And then not much of representation for Chittapur, Karnataka, as well as Kalyana, Karnataka. And these are the areas which, really helped Congress to get this kind of a majority. Hopefully, these mistakes will be corrected when the expansion happens. We don't know when it's going to happen. There is already voices of dissent that they have not been included. Mr. Deshpande, who's a 9-time MLA, has already expressed his dissatisfaction that he's not been taken into the cabinet. And there was also Mr. Mahadevappa, who's a right-hand man of Siddaramaiah, who from scheduled caste community. He has also said, I'm not very happy that I've not been considered. So these things will be there for a few days, and hopefully Mr. Siddaramaiah, with his experience, he should be able to overcome all that and give a good government for Karnataka, which is what people are expecting.
Absolutely. Speaking of dissent, we just had G. Parameshwara being sworn in as a minister into that cabinet. He's waving to the crowd right now. Also going across to Neerja Chaudhary, senior journalist. Ma'am, now the first list has been released by Congress. We were just talking about the names from MB Patil to G. Parameshwara to Satish Jarkiholi, KJ George, Zameer Ahmed. There is been an attempt to accommodate all castes, all communities, but it is going to be a tough job to accommodate the sort of demands that have come in from the number of voters, the number of communities that have stood by the Congress.
I think that's natural. Look, this is a milestone moment today in Karnataka's history, and the country is watching Karnataka, and particularly Mr. Siddaramaiah, the new Chief Minister, and his Deputy DK Shivakumar, with great interest in how they handle the challenges before them in the coming days, weeks, and months. Because a lot hinges on how they begin to deliver on the promises that the party made. What will happen in other states will hinge on this. In many ways, what happens in the national election next year will hinge on how the new team fares in the coming weeks. So having said that, yes, it's a big challenge. People's aspirations have risen with that kind of a victory in which everybody has played a role, and therefore they will want their share of power. And how Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. DK Shivakumar actually handle it and satisfy those aspirations, of course, there's a lot in the hands of a government. To give people different tasks. And I think we will, as you said, the new rainbow coalition that the party represents, major communities have been given in the ministers sworn in today, but more will come in the coming days because this is only 8 ministers. But I also found it a bit peculiar, for Mr. DK Shivakumar to be sworn in as Deputy CM. We have not heard. There's no provision for a Deputy CM in the Constitution. As one of my co-panelists said, I remember Mr. Devi Lal, who in VP Singh's time in 1989 was sworn in as Deputy CM. The president at that time, R. Venkatraman, kept repeating, interrupting him and said, Minister, as minister, oath as minister. But he insisted on deputy prime minister at that time. Therefore, these are very small things, but the constitution is sacrosanct and must be sacrosanct. A minister is designated as a deputy chief minister afterwards and given the portfolio, and we hear that Mr. Shivakumar might get the home portfolio and several others. So all good wishes to this new team, and people look forward to the 5 guarantees being implemented in the first cabinet minister.
Absolutely,
cabinet meeting.
Those 5 guarantees, how many will be passed in the first meeting? Request you stay with us. Neerja Chaudhary, also Mr. R.K. Upadhyay, my journalists, my colleagues, our esteemed journalists, please stay with us.